There it is. Okay. So my friend did a write-up of the fantasy convention, and okay, it's got content, but again, want, signed, were, this is just not really sophisticated language. So what could I do to make the language much more interesting? Do you want to perform? I appreciate that it's a hook. If you'd rather do this, either way.
Okay.
But it's not interesting word choice. Yeah.
It's not an interesting.
Not interesting words.
Okay.
Try.
See, you give me a lot to think about.
Well, I'm a writer. I should be able to
Yes.
fix this. Yeah, not interesting words. Each, maybe I'll use track changes so you can see the difference. Review. What can I do to jazz this up? Track changes. Okay. View, draft. Okay. Each icon, and of course I could make the text bigger or something. Might as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Clearly I have a lot of windows. All right. Each bake. Read a summary, read an overview, read a, I don't know, description, something with more pop to it. Sizzle reel. That's not quite what it is. But I like sizzle. Sizzling. I mean, it's clear if I just give an example,
Yeah.
here's the Mandalorian out on his quest to blah, 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 blah. With somersaults, which I can't spell. So just honestly, what I wrote is jazzier than performers had signed up to perform for 4 minutes. I mean, you see,
yes.
I'm trying to make this. It's almost the same content, but my word choice is dialing it up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm making an effort to put in action verbs and specific nouns because that's what people like. Really helps us, see what's going on. All right. And only 4 minutes in a masquerade as the costume is called. All right, I got in one is, but still. Participants. I can't say performers. I just said that a second ago. So again, if I don't know what to say, if I can't think of a word, going more specific helps. Mandalorians, uh, Batman, Superman, Mandalorians, which I misspelled. Mandalorian, Superman, or clearly I want a girl for the third one. Ah, belly dancers. I mean, it could be anything. Space ballerinas.
Oh,
I've never seen a space ballerina before, but it
No.
gets you the idea of what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
There could be a space ballerina. Sure. Yeah, I think that's a nice range of what I'm trying to say here.
Good.
Um, mm, all right. I keep saying perform. Um, try to dazzle the judges. Dazzle is another interesting verb.
Yeah.
Again, I've tried to write perform like 8 times, and each time I stop myself and replace it with something more interesting.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, this isn't organic. This isn't a first draft. This is me cleaning it up. Yeah. The judges. All right. Now, here's the thing. My friend attended the costume contest. I didn't. So, he actually has the info, but it was kind of boring. So, but here I want to use his info. But clean it up. I'm going to say the articles by both of us, but my language is better.
Okay.
Um, mm, most entries this year. All right. Were fantasy cosplaying ladies, except I don't want to use were, but that's a really obvious way to go. But one thing one can usually do is, can I take an adjective or noun and make it the verb? Cosplayed. Because that's more interesting than were.
Yes.
Means, war costumes. And most entries this year cosplayed. Let's see. We don't even really need ladies. Fantasy dancers and lip syncers. Oh. You know what? I was about to change dance and lip sync to back to nouns, but no, let's just keep danced and lip sync. Most entries this year danced and lip synced. Okay. And in fact, to cover songs, well, I mean, of course, how else would you lip sync if not a cover song? So that's another thing that goes obvious stuff everybody knows already.
Yes. Okay.
Most entries this year danced and lip synced. Well, now, since I cut a little too much, maybe I can put back an interesting adjective. Fantastical, or something else like whimsical or magical. Danced or lip synced. The audience liked that. Well, liked that I could clearly punch up. Roared. Roared isn't 100% clear they liked it. Cheered. Sang along. Um, Grinned. Not the cleverest word I've ever come up with, but now they're participating. Not sure whether to leave it in I or change it to he, but for the moment. Screw it. Some. I said performer again. There. Some even read their own books. The rest of this, again, was not that exciting. So yeah, cutting extra words. And like I keep saying, roughly the same content, but my language is deliberately making it more interesting with action verbs and specific nouns. All right. Some of the stuff dealers sold in the dealer's room. Well, here I appreciate that he's being specific about it. I mean, we should have specific. Here's the stuff in the dealer's room. But again, some of the stuff dealers sold in the dealer's room, colon, we could punch that way up. In fact, it wasn't even called the dealer's room. It was called like the marketplace or something. The dealer's room is a huge draw, but I don't want to say is. Attendees rush the dealer's room as soon as it opens. When it opens each morning, true story. Attendees rush the dealer's room, scramble into the dealer's room, mob. I like mob the dealer's room as it opens each morning. Just as the doors open. It sounds a little more immediate, easier to picture. And then each morning is obvious. Attendees mob the dealer's room just as the doors open. There they find, not there was, modernized old-time headphones. I guess. I mean, he means they look like old headphones, but you can get your Bluetooth on them and stuff. Afrofuturism graphic novels with the artist drawing on the spot. Metal sculptures, yes. Wacky sculptures, robotic sculptures, these I did see. You know what? Robotic metal sculptures. Mini sculptures, because I think of sculptures as being gigantic. And these were like paperweights. Many, okay, but we could probably do something with that. An explosion of indie, where's the sci-fi books? Pendants is more interesting than jewelry and could be pictured better. Scary ceramics, that's interesting. Although I'm not sure what he's referencing, so I can't actually describe that one better. I mean, I could say scary dragons or scary tentacled ceramics. So again, made this a bit more interesting.
We have to know how to spell to do this too.
This is Microsoft Word. It'll help me.
Oh, good.
And I would say if you've gotten brilliant content, but the spelling needs work, that can be fixed later.
Yeah.
Authors on spot. All right, so that was the dealer's room. The art display. I mean, the art display had boring verb. The annual art display. Crowded with, swarmed with, paintings and drawings studded the display, crowded the display. Ah, there were a lot of paintings, but I'm trying to say it in a fun way.
Yeah.
Packed. Paintings and drawings packed the annual art display. Yes, I like that. Paintings and drawings. It's fine. Packed the annual art display with Afrofuturism, a cute little alien and its pet in a flying saucer. Okay, I appreciate uh going specific. Real starry crowns. Wearable starry crowns. Real is very clear. Wearable starry crowns. And lots more. I mean, sure, but that's not that interesting. Wearable starry crowns. I mean, emotion is interesting, but this isn't very interesting emotion. That's nice. Okay. Ha ha. I sat at a dealer's table with Valerie, author of 100 books. Ha ha ha. Panels. We should definitely write about the panels, but as I keep saying, maybe we can make this more interesting. I barely made it to any panels. I was too busy selling books. I made it to a couple. Maybe I want the panels before the shopping. Panels about many and various geeky subjects. Many and various spectrum, a plethora, I don't know, of geeky subjects.
Do you have a book of synonyms? You must.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, yes, you can easily get well, it's called a thesaurus.
yes.
Yes, the thesaurus, or thesaurus.com.
Okay.
Thesaurus.com is lovely.
Okay.
Sometimes I use it.
Okay.
Nobody uses a paper dictionary or thesaurus now that we have dictionary.com and thesaurus.com.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Not that I have any problem with the thesaurus. Um, let my mind fly, or at least walk about briskly. Maybe. I mean, that's cute. I like cute. Maybe. Maybe. A nice skill to have if you like to sing or you want to read, perform a little of your book in front of an audience. It's not that interesting. Again, the language. I don't know. I haven't decided.
About the underlying first, and then you go back over it and fill in with all this.
My friend wrote this.
Oh,
I would have written it better. Neener,
Okay.
neener. He said it was his first draft, but he's a writer. Why is the language stinky? Ugh.
okay,
My first draft would have been more interesting.
okay.
Or at least I would have done a second draft before I gave it to a friend. Who? So again, he and I are writing this together, and he just said, here's this thing I wrote. And I'm going, I like some of the information, and I didn't go to the costume contest, and he did, but language.
Yeah,
And this is cute, but a whole sentence on the fact that he missed the panel. I don't know. Um, since I know who she is, I could get in a little more. Um, Presented on how to perform. Mhm. Hmm. All right, so maybe I write something. This is about all his content, but I could add some more content. New this year. Sure. This year's theme for the conference. Paranormal theme. Brought in Ghostbusters. Fortune tellers. And a tarot card display from the guests of honor. Yes, yeah. Mhm. Different guest of honor. I need to use their names. Blank. Note to self for put in her name after I look it up, clearly. Delighted. Knew this year was. Can I say something else? Delighted the convention with her innovative, which means new, Afrofuturism lab. No, it was not a lab. Lounge filled with panels. Um, Gorgeous purple streamers, specific. Educator reason. Blank had created a book recommendation game. I was going to write was eager to share, but then I changed that to eagerly shared, which is more active with the, I mean, I want a way to say everyone was really, really, really encouraged to come in. And when they came in, everyone was really, really, really friendly. So I guess I should just say that, but fancier. When passerby popped their heads in the The educators manning, probably shouldn't say manning, it sounds sexist, but whatever. Working their stations enthusiastically bid them participate. I might be able to make that more fun. That was a lot of big words. And again, I mean, they were going, come in, we want to do stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, you saw my point. You know, if you're going was, had, wanted, gave, was, this isn't about using the biggest, weirdest words out there, but can you put in action verbs? Sped, snatched, rushed, grabbed, screamed. Those working the booth screamed with joy. Come, work with us. That seems extreme. They didn't really scream with joy, but they were very friendly. Yeah. But we're very friendly just isn't sophisticated language. Yeah. And you can see me struggling, choosing. All right, we don't call it a first draft if I've, replaced the word 5 times.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm getting at, that you can make these choices and go, no. What I'm saying is I'm deciding to make it sound more interesting, and my friend didn't.
Okay.
My friend just wrote his thoughts.
Okay.
And we're trying to publish this, so yeah, friend could step it up. All right, I guess that's the lesson.
Good.
Ooh. There's a California Writers Club. My friend and I are both in it. Is going to be it's working with a senior center in Saratoga, and they said they'd appreciate some articles about fun stuff that happened in the community and makes everyone feel good. And I said, I know a fun thing that just happened in Santa Clara.
Good.
So
Good. Well, for us, the 4th of July, singing all the patriotic songs.
sure,
God bless America. We all know that. Yeah.
you could write about that if you wanted,
Yes.
and then substitute more action verbs.
Yes. And he also knew the fellow who was giving, it was the doctor who gave the talk, described the battles as they were fought and who was in them.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds appropriate, yes.
And then backed up with pictures of the rows upon rows of dead bodies. Dear God.
We didn't do much for 4th of July, just the knowledge that the fireworks were happening like next door and we could see them from the top of the hotel. So if we wanted, we just went and watched them.
We don't want fireworks here because of the trees.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this hotel was next door to Great America, so there's
Okay.
fireworks no matter what.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't have to do them.
Yes. Yeah. We're now getting more, the trees have to be so far apart, they have to be less, the branches have to be less close to the roofs, on and on and on. Very detailed report of all that. Which is interesting. But those battles and the wars, we used to see, young men dead in rows upon rows. It's words describing,
And people could describe that well too.
yes,
Star Spangled Banner is not just a song about a war, it was set to drinking song music.
yeah.
I'm emailing myself the thing I just wrote.
You what?
I'm emailing myself the thing I just
Oh,
wrote.
good.
Actually, need it. Yeah. Yeah, all right, fine.
Well, I watched Band of Brothers, the movie, you know, which is war is horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't see any justification for it. And the Germans really went after the Auschwitz.
Yeah.
They were dead in 2 hours after they got there.
Yeah.
You know.